Millennials less likely than boomers to own a home, get married early, according to a study. The study found that boomers were more likely to get careers in law or medicine compared to millennials by age 35. So I watched this video and I'm also reading the same information out there. This comparison between millennials and boomers, right? How their lifestyles are different, how they're able to, how baby boomers have it better, or maybe millennials have it better. You hear this argument, and I'm sure in the comment sections, people are going to compare themselves about how they made it, how they did not make it. I'm a baby boomer. I had to work 2 jobs. These millennials got it easy. And then the millennials be like, I got 2 degrees. I got 3 jobs. I still can't pay rent. I got 4 roommates. It's going to be a mess. I know it. Everyone's situation is different. I'm just thinking of the bigger picture, more broad, right, about how our society is right now here in 2023. Not all millennials are worse off than baby boomers were at the same age, but there is an increasing wealth gap growing between the two generations, a new study claims. Millennials are less likely to enter high status occupations and are more likely to work in low skilled service jobs in their mid 30s, researchers said. These working class millennials are economically worse off than boomers with capable careers and life trajectories. The study found boomers are more likely to enter prestigious, high-paying careers in law or medicine. So who would have thought those are the high-paying, prestigious jobs? Is just law or medicine. If you're not in that, then you're not in a prestigious job, right? Then millennials by age 35, just 7.3% of millennials had taken these career paths, whereas 70% of boomers had done so by this age. So maybe there's something to say that, hey, when I was in high school, no one said, hey, you want a prestigious high job? It's either medicine or law. It was all about do the best you can, do what you love, and the money will follow, yada, 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 right? Quick disclaimer, I am a millennial myself. Millennials were also less likely than boomers to own a home in their mid-30s and more likely to have debt that outweighed their assets. Yeah, I guarantee you the number one debt millennials have, it's college debt. I guarantee you, college costs way too much more than it used to be when boomers went to college, right? Was there even much college debt for boomers? They paid it off right away. That was the initial thought. Boomers did the same thing. They said they try to teach the younger generation, this is what I did and what you can do. Just get a student loan, you'll pay it off quick with your new job and you'll be good. But guess what? Those wages never went up. But the debt did, right? The cost of an education went way up because, hey, they keep having an influx and increase the price. So just keep coming. And they're guaranteed by the government. While 62% of boomers owned homes at age 35, just 49% of millennials did. About 14% of millennials had a negative net worth compared to 8.7% of boomers, researchers found. So, yes, millennials are lagging behind compared to boomers on average when they both hit 35. The amount of money they had, money saved, assets they accumulated, their career paths, all of it. However, the study found middle-class millennials also accumulated substantially more wealth than their boomer counterparts had at the same age. Two things here, right? There could be, if they're saying millennials here substantially more wealth, well, let's make this simple. $100 for a boomer when they were 35 were able to buy way much more compared to a millennial today at age 35. And maybe there's a difference of something that's tipping the scales of the average millennial's wealth is that there's billionaire millennials like a Mark Zuckerberg out there. So it wouldn't be fair to include them to the average because they are just straight outliers. Family choice was also different between the two generations. Millennials are more prone to delay marriage and childbirth and more likely to live with their parents, mirroring decades of decline in marriage rates in the United States. Millennials, I'm a millennial myself, right, too. It said that in the disclaimer that, what do you expect? The high rise of debt, especially college debt, cars cost way more, so they probably have auto loans that are really high, super high interest rates on everything, including a mortgage. Cost of a house costs way more now, so they're really stuck. They can't really get into a house right now. What do you expect? There's only fewer and fewer millennials who can actually make these things possible. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 25% of 40-year-olds in 2021 have never been married, compared to 20% in 2010. The share of unmarried 40-year-olds has steadily been increasing since 1980, when just 6% of them had never been married. Wow, that's an interesting statistic about marriage. But marriage costs money, and weddings cost a lot more money now. While 27% of boomers married and had children early in the Cambridge study, just 13% of millennials had done the same. Again, millennials lagging behind baby boomers. The researchers argue that there was limited evidence the wealth gap between the two generations was driven by different life choices. The findings pose a fundamental moral and political challenge for the United States to address, they said. Understandably so. I mean, they were just talking about prestigious careers, right? Law or medicine. But there's way more opportunities out there to get rich, right? It could be like real estate. It could be owning a business. I mean, there's just numerous opportunities to get wealthy, to get, financially dependent and not have to get a job and work for someone else and make them rich, right? This divergence in financial rewards is exacerbating extreme levels of wealth inequality in the United States. Individuals with typical working class careers, like truck drivers or hairdressers, used to be able to buy a home and build a modest level of assets, but this is more difficult for younger generations. The solution lies with measures such as progressive wealth taxation and policies like universal health insurance that give more people basic security, he wrote. So, baby boomers times, there's plenty of them who just had blue collar jobs who were able to afford a home. Shoot, my parents were able to, and they're blue collar. Blue collar millennials today, no freaking way. Are you kidding me? They're gonna be renting forever, and let alone to get a house. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be someone in the comments like, I work blue collar and I can afford a house. I get it, but I mean, it's in comparison with baby boomers and millennials, a lot less millennial blue collar workers are able to afford a home, especially today compared to what baby boomers had. It's just crazy to think about it. Like, I just mentioned my parents are blue collar and they're baby boomers too. And yeah, they worked hard, but they had blue collar jobs and they were able to get a house. I've always worked full time and went to college at the same time and just struggled a lot. And it wasn't easy. It was for me in my mid-30s to finally get a house, to buy a house. And I didn't just get into it like right away. I got into it knowing like I can afford the house, right? At least 35% of my monthly income can go into the mortgage. This way I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. But not everyone can do that, right? I am fortunate enough that, and lucky enough really, that I was able to get a career where I was able to make enough money to make that happen, especially in 2023. It's rough, not easy, and I feel for my fellow millennials out there, because there are millennials out there who will bust their butt way more than me, and I feel for them. They can't get a house. I do regret a little bit that I saw a lot of YouTube videos of those housing crash bros, right? During when COVID started, from 2020 to 2021 to 2022, right? Saying the housing market's going to crash. It's going to crash. I bought that, but now I'm at the point where I don't think it's going to crash. For the following reasons, right? Wall Street is more heavily involved in the housing market, more than ever. They're trying to get as many renters as possible. I've heard that they're trying to make a renter society out of us. Maybe yes, maybe no. I think that I could think both ways on that, but let me go to this point that they know no matter what, they have to control inventory. Inventory goes up, prices of homes go down. And if you want to maximize your profits, of course you want to control inventory. It'd be like the diamond industry, how they control inventory. They only let out a certain amount. But that is my general belief, that I think that Wall Street is doing that to keep houses artificially at these prices right now. I don't think prices are going to drop drastically. They might, especially seasonally, but you would have thought they would have dropped a lot by now with the current interest rates. Maybe we need more time for it to really crumble, but I don't think there's going to be a crash. I think there just might be a correction, maybe, but it'll just climb back up again, especially with these interest rates that keep going up, it's still not breaking the housing market. And I think there's a reason to that. So for millennials and the younger generation, Gen Z, is it? I mean, for them to get a house, I mean, they have to figure out how to get more money somehow. Their careers are probably not going to give them enough money, but they just have to save and save and save and get into something, right? Just get into a house. This way you're building up on your equity. Yes, it's not going to be the wonderful 3 or 4% that a lot of people have right now. It's probably going to be like the 6, 7%, but at least you're building equity versus putting that money into rent, right? But at the same time, rent is cheap right now. So I know the problem and I see the problem, but I don't have a solution, right? And I hope I'm wrong about what I just said about, ever since Wall Street's been involved with housing, there's just a weird situation with housing right now. Well, anyway, it's going to be inevitable that someone's going to mention something in the comments about themselves, so might as well just reach out to you guys. Please leave a comment. Let me know what generation you are. If you're a millennial, baby boomer, Gen Z, what have you, please leave a comment below and tell me what your situation was, and are you still looking for a home and what your troubles are, or you finally got a home and how you finally did it, or if you had a home forever, what steps did you take? Please, as you're leaving a comment, please like and subscribe, and let me know what other topics you would like me to talk about. Thank you.